All right, we have one from Instant Audits. Why women in their 50s say men are impossible.
Can someone just tell me when chivalry? I think I'm just too traditional for this world because, you know what? I do expect someone to open the door for me. I do expect them to open the door when I'm getting inside the car. Not necessarily when I'm getting out, but when I'm getting inside. I do expect someone to walk on the side of the road that they should. And if you don't know that, look it up. I do expect that when you ask me out on a first date and you live an hour away, that you do come up this way. One thing I think men forget is that you put all of this value into a woman and whatnot, and she gives it back to you tenfold. So you cheat.
No. See, the dating game has changed, Granny. Your demands are no longer the demands of most of the women around you, especially the younger ones that men are going for. See, men are being trained by women's expectations, low expectations of them. All it takes is a hookah and chill. All it takes is very low effort. Unfortunately, treating them like garbage because they're so mentally damaged, broken, or propagandized by the mainstream narrative to accept that kind of behavior, to expect that kind of behavior. So they reward all the wrong men. And so all men start doing the wrong things to get rewarded too. Women set the standards. This is the new standard. You see, while you were busy growing up in your strong boss babe era and women were coming into power and it was the first wave, the second wave, the third wave, and now the fourth wave of the gynocracy has set in fully. And this is the world that has been wrought upon us here in the West. You're strong. You can open up your own door. You can take your own wrinkly ass across the street. You could do everything yourself because you're strong and independent and don't need no man. This is the general narrative that's being thrust upon us today, and you have to live with the consequences now when you go dating. Men do not want to hold the door open for you. Men don't want to walk you across the street. Nobody does any of this shit anymore because it's seen as creepy today. Unfortunately. So just like the old grandpa giving us dating advice talking about just go out to a club, go dance and go say hi to a woman. Back in my day, I could go out to a bar, say hello, and I was picking them up, lining them up. I was a little pimp with my galactic pimp hand. I couldn't stop them. I was fighting them off. Your days are done, Grandpa. That doesn't apply anymore. Showing up to a woman's house with flowers, you're a turd. She's going to snap a picture of the bouquet and say what a creep you are to the girls group. Do nice things, she dries up like the Sahara. Do bad things, she's running like the Niagara Falls. I don't make the rules, man.
Treat me well. I'm going to treat you better, most likely.
Most likely.
When did chivalry?
Single men do not approach women in the wild, and here is a perfect example of that. I am a very regular face at my gym. I'm talking like 6 days a week, same time every day, like clockwork. Now, there are a bunch of other regulars there 6 days a week, same time every day, like clockwork. I mean, I can tell you before someone has even started who's scheduled for leg day or not. My gym also happens to be about 70% men. And yeah, that absolutely swayed my decision to join there originally. I'm no dummy. But so 99% of them are very respectful and courteous. I mean, I sometimes notice I'm getting checked out, but they're covert about it. Especially if the Lululemons are on display. However, in the year and a half I've been at that gym, no one has approached me except for one creeper who would not take many.
The one guy that approached her was not the guy I wanted. It was the creep. All the other hot men, they don't pay attention to me. I wonder if your age has something to do with it. I wonder if it's the fact that in the last year or so alone, all the creepy chicks trying to get clout on the internet by showing men looking at them when they're doing their shit exercises with their scrunchy ass booty shorts on. I wonder if that's the reason. I'm surprised, probably legally because you can't, that men-only gyms haven't started sprouting up. Oh my God, what an incredible experience it would be to go to a male-only gym. Some cave, some like Zeus's dungeon of iron weights, where it's just hardcore, blood, sweat, and tears. Dudes working out, getting after it. Absolutely no distractions. The dungeon of gains. I bet you that'd be one of the most popular and profitable gyms in any town it would open up in. Unfortunately, someone's going to get super jelly and then take you to court about why aren't women allowed. There might be a way around this by making a small section women only. That was also another thing I noticed when I was in Dubai. The gyms had women's and men's sections. There were shared areas, but there was a women only, there were women only workout areas, and the rest were shared between everybody else. Male only gyms, bring that back, please.
Polite no's for an answer, but that's a story for another day. Here's where it gets interesting. I have been hit up on the dating apps by more than a handful of those same guys at the gym. I recognize them, they recognize me, and they freely admit that they recognize me. Riddle me that.
She's going to sink, Captain. But she can't sink. She's unsinkable.
Right. Maury has weighed in and he says, I'm 58. Why would I want a woman that almost can't control her bladder and has to wear a diaper? This is quite interesting. So you are assuming that a woman over 50 can't control her bladder and has to wear a diaper, although men at your age do not. Fun with this one. I'll give you this. Statistically, they do say that more women than men have bladder issues, but to say any woman over 50 basically is what you've generalized, has bladder issues and must wear a diaper is just a little silly. And the fact that there are plenty of men, in fact, I know from my father-in-law, my ex-father-in-law, he had plenty of issues with incontinence and eventually. So trust me, Maury, it will catch up with you at some point in your journey of life.
Let me say that dating in your 50s for men and women is not the same, regardless of how this grand elder post-war queen feels about it. I don't know the details of the conversation between this queen and Maury, but I can say a healthy, financially well-off man dating in his 50s has a far higher SMV than a healthy, financially well-off woman dating in her 50s. Let's not sugarcoat that men are expected to financially support women, so why would he risk dating a 50-year-old woman who has a higher probability of having health issues? Also, for the long run, a younger woman who is supported will have an easier time taking care of a man with health issues of more advanced age. It's not rocket science, although it is the ever so oppressing reality of biology.
But wait! There's more!
Maury, you're saying you'd rather be with a younger woman because you don't want to have to worry about the older woman's diapers. But you're fine with having the younger woman.
She's stuck on that literal diaper comment. That's not what he's saying. Yes, he's making fun of the fact that older people need diapers in general, and he's talking about women because that's who he's referencing. But what he's really saying is aged out. Why would a man who has his shit together choose a woman his age, 55, 58, when he can get one 10 years younger, 20 years younger? That's what he's saying. Why not get a more fertile woman? If you're looking to start a family, maybe you've been working hard until your 50s and then realize that you wanted more out of life. Would you do that with a 58-year-old? Can't get pregnant? What if she already has kids? Most women in their 50s probably have kids, probably were married. That's probably what you could assume for this generation that's currently alive in their 50s and 60s. But she can't see that. She could only see the direct jab at diapers. So she mentions her father-in-law with the diapers to try to reinforce her argument. It's not about the diapers. You're old. You're has-been. You're not as attractive as you were when you were youthful and beautiful and fertile. It just is the part of life, the part of aging. Unfortunately for you, there are millions of younger women that would love that 58-year-old guy. I don't mean like 1920, although there are some, I guarantee if that guy shredded and really took care of himself, I'm sure there are. But I'm saying 30, 35, hell, even 40. You don't think want the 55-year-old, 58-year-old if he took care of himself? That's you. You have to compete with a 30-year-old, a 35-year-old. And that 50-something-year-old man, he's financially secure. He probably has a business. He's had a lifetime to earn and make himself stable financially. He has the maturity needed. He has everything a woman looks for. So why not pick that one? You see, but they can't think of that. She immediately stopped at diapers. Oh, he's calling me an old hag. Oh, he's saying I need my ass wiped. Oh, he's saying I can't even control my bladder. Completely goes over their head. They take every attack as personal. They can't see the broader picture of the issue. This is a biological choice. Fertility is on the clock, and we've evolved to understand this innately.
Take care of you and your diapers. And I have no issue at all with a age gap relationship. I've been in one. I have no issue at all. But I will advise you, Maury, that there are also things that can happen. Like, let's just say you get to a certain point and all of your old age stuff starts surfacing. Maybe the hot young thing that you have is like, I'm out of here. I don't want to be changing daddy's diapers. And when your Viagra stops working, she might be looking elsewhere. So not to say that happens in every relationship. Just generalizing and being a little snarky, just having a little fun with you. But in all seriousness, there are two sides to every coin. So thanks for adding to the conversation. Have a great night.
See what some of the comments say. Imagine being 2 decades behind on what's going on in society while being a member of the group that made it that way. This is hard to watch. Oof. We're definitely too old to be giving up our hard-earned money for a well-used, high-mileage, insufferable object of annoyance. Sheesh. I dated a 33-year-old, a 24-year-old, and a 45-year-old in that order. Each one of them didn't know what they wanted, yet told me I treated them better than anyone ever did before ending it with me. I'm 51. I'm not wasting my time anymore. Sheesh. I'm 53, and there's no way I'm dating anyone who harbors the modern woman mentality. And most certainly not any of those goofballs who are whining about their dating lives on social media. Who's going to approach some broad at the gym these days? Should I do that so that I can get memed all over social media? They either created or helped create this societal mess. By not speaking out against the purple-haired nuts, they can live in the world that they created along with their cats. Oof. Dating in my 50s, hard pass. Finally got some peace and quiet. Why would I ruin that with an old lady with an attitude? Here's what happens to women who are very attractive, parentheses, privileged, when they were young, but who find themselves single in their 40s and beyond. Because of men's biological need for sex, the modern woman could get away with virtually anything in relationships, and they knew it. Once in our 40s and 50s, we men need sex far less and are unwilling to simp nearly as much, if at all. This is a massive shock to single post-wall broads who never developed real relationship skills with men because they didn't need to. We men tend to not approach women in the wild, especially in the gym, is because of how hostile women have become just because you approach them. Then we also risk being called a creeper or stalker exactly just the same way she did, that one lady who got approached by the one guy of all the 70% of the men in that gym that she was dying for to get approached by. It's the attitude. It's toxic. It's adversarial. You're looked at as a predator. You're a monster unless you're attractive. How the hell are you going to know if a woman finds you attractive unless you go up and ask her out? Unfortunately, men have seen too many videos, too many memes, too many viral accounts of what happens when a man just looks at a woman's direction and she's got audacity and entitlement all rolled into one to make a whole video on him, meme him, make a scene in public just to get some internet brownie points, just to virtue signal her moral superiority, just to tell her little friends or followers, men are so gross, men are such pigs, feral. Meanwhile, you're selling your body online for $5 a month, but you have the moral high ground on everybody else. And you're wearing sexually suggestive clothing in public places, triggering people to look. You have zero modesty, and you expect people to treat you with modesty. Unbelievable. It's like me going in the woods covered in honey with like 2 straps of elk meat on my back, just sitting there going, hope a bear doesn't eat me. Hope a bear doesn't see me as food. Are you kidding me? Please, dude, it's about to look like the Revenant when the grizzly attacks him. Say goodbye to meat. And it's expected. So when you wear those scrunched up booty shorts or booty pants, leggings, whatever, or you scrunch your boobs up in your tight bra, and then you're taking stupid selfies at stupid angles and stupid poses, and you expect no one to look at you? Seriously? Like, we're not dumb. We know you're doing it for attention. You want to be noticed. That's why you dress that way. Otherwise, you'd wear sweats and a hat and be completely covered up and just lifting, just like most women do that are serious and are in the gym and don't care about anybody approaching them. They have headphones on, hoodie on, or a hat on, and they have a long sleeve, huge hoodie, and they're just getting after it, doing their workouts, absolutely paying nobody any attention whatsoever. And those girls are over there lifting. Instead, we got the cardio bunnies coming here in the bright chameleon colored matching outfits with full face of makeup, doing their stupid exercises with zero effort, but you have 10,000 tripods surrounding them taking videos and pictures of their shit mediocre workout. It's a joke, man. Once you start going overseas, you'll begin to notice this difference in attitude and entitlement and expectations from women that were raised in a full household with the father present, and they're well grounded and respect and love men and cherish them for what they provide and knows what a man can provide because her father is her primary example. A lot of these issues that we're having today are from women, most likely, that come from homes where there was no father or any male figure present whatsoever. So they don't know how to treat a man, they don't know how to act around a man, and they don't even know what value a man brings into their lives. All they know is what TikTok tells them, the rest of social media, and all the toxic shit that they keep ingesting nonstop by having their phones glued to their hands. Which, unfortunately, we know what the other side of the aisle is like. It's, you're a boss, babe. Yes, queen, you do you. You are the table. You're a perfect 10. Men ain't shit. We don't need men for nothing. Blah, 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 blah. And the message goes on. And so they treat men that way. And then they wonder why men don't respond. And then they wonder why men aren't asking me out. And then they wonder why all this stuff is happening consecutively year over year over year and getting worse and worse and worse. More and more men are completely checking out of the dating pool or now getting their passports and going overseas. The options are there for men. For women, not so much. Father time, undefeated. Every day is the day you can't get back. And one more egg lost. But they don't want to face up to this reality, because anything is better than submitting to my husband who loves me and takes care of me and breaks his back so I don't have to work if possible, so I can look after our kids. Anything is better than that. Rushing into work at 6:30, going through traffic to have a boss yell at you about whatever deadlines, only to get paid pennies on the dollar and be treated like a number that clocks in and out, literally does not give a shit about you. We'll cut your position whenever the bottom line makes sense. And you're a peon in a giant machine instead of the golden seat at the family table. Imagine that. We'll see you guys on the next one.